Hello, Colts Nation. What's up, No Horsing family? Welcome back to another episode of the No Horsing Around podcast. As always, I am one of two dudes talking Colts. I'm your host, Stephen Burton. And on today's episode, you guys, do we potentially have the next great Colts receiver? Before we dive in, please, you guys, as always, please like, share, subscribe, comment, like the video, share it with a friend who's not part of the No Horse family. Subscribe, comment. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Join the family. You guys know, as always, it's going to be running at the bottom the entire time. Join the family, subscribe. Join the family, subscribe. We love hearing from you guys. The whole reason we do the show is Colts Nation, is the No Horsing Around family. We love everything about you guys. Even if you disagree with us, that's fine. I want to hear from you. So, we don't hesitate. We kind of jump right into the show. Do the Colts have the next great wide receiver, the next great Colts wide receiver? Let's kind of go through this a little bit, right? Let's go through who are the great Colts wide receivers. We go Indianapolis Colts. Start with Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, right? T.Y. Hilton, and potentially you have Michael Pittman Jr., right? So who am I talking about? Who could be the next great Colts wide receiver? I'm talking about Alec Pierce, you guys. Our second round draft pick this past year from Cincinnati. Solid receiver, great receiver at Cincinnati. Y'all have heard me talk about him. Big, physical, fast, can take the top off the defense as well. And he's what I like to call, that I've got from a local radio show here in Tennessee, a combat catcher. He's not afraid to go up and fight for that ball. And I love that about him. So, I mean, could he potentially be the next great Colts wide receiver? I mean, I'll tell you what, if the rookie minicamp this past weekend has anything to say about it, absolutely, dude. I mean, I know, let's talk about the first day he left with dehydration. He just wasn't quite there. Then he just showed out multiple touchdowns, multiple contested catches, looking great over the middle, over the top, great hands. Man, it's I don't know about y'all. I got taught by my parents, from the South. You only get one chance to make a first impression. And, man, he looked good. I mean, and how important is the first impression? Just ask right here in Tennessee, ask Traylon Burks how important a first impression is. They are melting down right now about that guy, about how he couldn't finish the first practice of the offseason of the rookie minicamp. But I wanted to back up kind of why I think he looks good. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. looks to be ascending to that number one position, that taking the torch from T.Y. Hilton, who took it from Reggie Wayne, who took it from Marvin Harrison, right? But how do they compare? How does it compare? I mean, coming out of college, Alec Pierce last year, 884 yards, 8 touchdowns, 17 yards per catch, 52 receptions. Great numbers. He played 14 games. I mean, great numbers. How do those, when you're like, man, I remember Reggie Wayne coming out of the U, and T.Y. Hilton, unknown by anybody really. Marvin Harrison, first round, high draft pick from Syracuse. How did they look coming out of college? How did they look? I mean, Reggie Wayne, 755 yards, 10 touchdowns his last year at Miami. 43 receptions, averaging about 17 yards a catch. Like, he was a late first round pick, right? I mean, not these Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson eye-popping numbers that would lead you to believe, hey, this guy is the next guy. And we all remember it took Reggie several years to kind of fall to where he was really that number one. Marvin Harrison, how'd he look? 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. He was a high pick, 56 receptions, 11 games played. These are all, I'm looking at their last years in college too, you guys. Their last years. So, I mean, 20 yards per catch when he's playing with Don McNabb. I mean, dude was legitimate, and that's why he was picked so high. Let's remember, too, Reggie was a first-round pick, as well as Marvin was a first-round pick. Now, how does that match up when you're looking at T.Y. Hilton, the unknown? He was a later-round pick. 72 receptions, 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. Oh, I'm sorry, not 14 touchdowns. 14 yards per catch. He was more established, really. coming out. 2,000 yards receiving and 800 yards reception season, 800 yards receiving season. I mean, and then you look at the current one, Michael Pittman Jr., 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. And he was a second-round pick. So look kind of through this. It looks to be he's very on par with coming out. What did these guys look like coming out of their last year of high school or last year of college? I'm sorry. T.Y. Hilton was a late-round pick. Michael Pittman was a second-round pick. Reggie Wayne was a first-round pick. And Marvin Harrison was a first-round pick, right? But each one of those took time to develop. Marvin took time to develop. It really took Peyton coming to Indy to help him. Reggie took several years to develop. T.Y. kind of came in, and he took about a half a year. He took a little time too. Michael Pittman took a year. But the one thing they all had in common was it took them linking up also with the right quarterback. Marvin with Peyton, Reggie with Peyton, and Andrew. T.Y. with Andrew, right? Michael Pittman had Phillip Rivers, and he started to look pretty good. He looked really good last year with Carson because of just they seem to have a great connection. Say what you want. We all know say what you want about Carson. He had a great connection with Michael Pittman. Now you have kind of this dead-eye veteran, uber accurate quarterback who are all really far, really behind, who's going to be throwing the ball. So what's it going to look like with Alec now? I think Alec can very easily step into the wide receiver 2 role. You're going to have Michael Pittman on one side, Alec on the other. And personally speaking, I'm going to do another video for this later in the offseason. Paris Campbell's going to be in the slot. I think he could have a really big year. And then you're talking the tight ends. So he's going to have every opportunity. And then coming out of the rookie mini camp, he looked amazing to the extent that you have ESPN analysts who are highly respected, who I highly respect, Louis Riddick, coming out and saying, man, that's probably that potentially could be the offensive rookie of the year right there. Now, y'all know how I feel. He could be. I mean, I'm on the Jelani train, that I think Jelani Woods is going to be the offensive rookie of the year. I think he's going to be outstanding. But you see the talent there, and he's going to link up. He's only going to get more reps with Matt Ryan. He's only going to look better. I think you're looking at the building of the future of the offense, and he's a key contributor. Michael Pittman's going to be 1. Alec Pierce is potentially going to be a 2. Like I said, I think Paris could have a great year if he can stay healthy. He'll sit in the slot. And then your tight ends are going to be Jelani and either Kylan Granson or Ogletree. I think that's where you're going to be looking at, and you got tremendous depth. We still haven't even discussed the darling of the training camp last year, Michael Strong. We still haven't even discussed the big body receiver that is Desmond Patman. We still haven't even discussed the special teams ace that is Ashton Doolin and how he can get on the field. This is a different video for a different day, but I think the receiver room is a little better off than what people think. And I think Alec Pierce is going to be heading that up. Don't go drive by his jersey quite yet. I think there's a real probability he's going to end up with number 12 and not 14, just like Michael Pittman was, I think, 80 and ended up with 11 after some cuts. I think he wants that 11. I think he wants that 12. I think DeMichael Harris still has it. I'm not saying he's not going to make the team, but that's a crowded room all of a sudden. But Alec, that combat catcher in him, that ability to take the top off the defense, man, I expect big things from him. I really do. I want to hear from you guys, though. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think Alec Pierce could be the next great Colts wide receiver in the line of the ones that we have? Like I said, Marvin to Reggie together, Reggie to T.Y. together, T.Y. to Michael Pittman, Michael Pittman sharing it with Alec Pierce. Could we be looking at the next great Colts wide receivers? Y'all tell me. Drop it in the comments, okay? Like I said in the beginning, please, you guys, join the family, subscribe. We're going into the off season. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of cool videos. We got a lot of things we want to do. We want to reach out to the family, the No Horsing Around family and Colts Nation, have you guys on shows. We're going to do some more live streams. Me and Zach are going to be back together a lot more frequently this off season. But please, you guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, subscribe. Join the family. It's not just a channel. It's a family that we endorse, that we love. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, okay? So I end these things the same way I always do. I love you. I know Zach loves you. I'm out.